Good evening, my name is Albert Rodriguez, and today I would like to present a simple explanation of how the film I directed, Summertime, has challenged and upheld the conventions of film, but also how it has represented social groups and issues. Now, when it comes to the conventions of Summertime, it really does both uphold and detract from the common themes of its genre, even if that might not be obvious to most. Summertime is an absurdist, minimalist drama which takes direct inspiration from Orson Welles' The Trial, based on Franz Kafka's book. For those of you that don't know, absurdism is the belief that the universe and existence of life is completely meaningless. I think that's a wild belief, but to each their own. Minimalism is essentially getting rid of all excess things in life and focusing on what's important. As an aesthetic, minimalism is described as having little amounts of details, enough to get to the point of what it represents. Therefore, the minimal aspect of the word comes in. The minimalist genre is upheld throughout the whole film by featuring no props except the camera and only two people in the whole film. The scenes are simple and easy to understand visually because of the lack of complex scenery of something like a city with many parts moving around. Summertime further explores the conventions of minimalism with the beginning interview section and then the meeting with Summertime and Winters. This is a blatant reference to the masterpiece My Dinner with Andre by Louis Malle, which is considered as a classic in the minimalist genre. Malle's entire film was done in a cafe and features dialogue with two people for almost 2 whole hours. Summertime follows this formula, but takes it a step further by getting rid of all forms of expression in the face, leaving all context clues up to the regular body language. My Dinner with Andre also shows care and expression, as you can see on Gregory Andre's face and Wallace Shawn's as they converse. With Summertime, none of that is there. As a whole, absurdist films, like Summertime, are not common in modern media because they aren't relatable to the common audience, but they have found themselves into niche audiences much like The Big Lebowski did. The meaningless of life in absurdism plays into how the composition of shots are done in absurdist films. Orson Welles has Kay lying on a pile of books and newspapers in the trial, meanwhile Summertime has the most important meeting in the world happening at a playground. The purpose of this is redundancy. Why would Orson Welles take the purpose of a book, which is to be read, and instead have Kay fall asleep on it, if it wasn't done to enhance the point that there is no point to it? Summertime follows this formula in the same sense of the playground representing redundancy and pointlessness in the meeting. Even if the meeting is important, this still upholds the conventions of absurdist media, because while yes, Mr. Winters is buying the world, but if this is where he agrees to meet, who says that he's going to be any different from Mr. Summertime, who didn't care about the world? This leads us into our next topic, which are the social groups and issues represented in the film. Prestigious anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss believed that in media, characters can be portrayed through binary oppositions. In most absurdist films, the main character is a binary opposition to the world since they don't associate themselves as a meaningful being. In Summertime, this convention is broken because instead of the main character, Mr. Winters, being a binary opposition to the world, he is a binary opposition to someone that didn't care for the world, meaning that in the end, Mr. Winters defies what an absurdist is. To quote Strauss on this, it is only through difference that progress can be made, which summarizes the underlying political aspect of the film. The fact that Mr. Winters is in a suit and Summertime isn't is extremely evocative. Winters represents a more willing politician, much like many young lawyers and politicians will walk into office on their first day. Before Winters meets Summertime, he walks trying to look relaxed but still looks very stiff, and when he finally meets Summertime, he gives a very firm handshake. After this, Winters is not himself anymore, which is showcased by the way he sits down in the final shot of the film. He looks relaxed, foreshadowing his descent into the same cycle that many politicians fall into, which is promising great things and then going on to not actually caring during their actual term. If the people running the world didn't care, is there really a point to it all? Another thing that I want to circle back to is the fact that the characters are faceless in this film. With the way politics work in modern day, specifically America, politicians are constantly hiding themselves, much like you can see in the pictures on screen. As you can clearly see, my film has upheld and broken multiple conventions of its genre while representing some extremely important social issues related to politics and ethics. Thank you.